Hi there guys, and welcome to another Train Sim 2019 video, and another video of the 37, obviously. I didn't get to finish going through the full 37 stuff yesterday, well, the other day when I did this video. It wasn't actually yesterday, it was a few days ago now. The reason being that the manual was incredibly comprehensive, and I was basically in love with it, so I had to really steady myself of how the review went. I've had a bit of time to play with this. And I say play, I actually had some time to sit for an hour and actually play Train Sim without doing a video or anything like that. So I have used this product. I've also been quite vocal about my feelings about it in the groups and various things like that. In my stream, we had Geordie from Master Key Simulations and Richard from Armstrong Powerhouse in to answer questions that were going on and things like that. I have picked the West Highland line. This is a very heavily edited workshop scenario that I've just done for my own pleasure, really. I can't release it. I've also used a non-heat 37, which is a bit daft to me, but I'm not that good with the editor to work anything like that out, so my failure on that point. So this is an empty coach and stock service. Why did I pick the West Highland line? Right, well, I picked the West Highland line because there is something that people are not very happy with that's missing. And those of you that know the West Highland line or understand how some things work within the rail industry, we have something on the West Highland line called Radio Electronic Token Block, RETEB signalling. And what that means is that when you're in a signalling section, it is done via a radio signal instead of actually like a key or a token or anything like that. It is modelled on the West Highland line extension by Thomson Interactive. It is nowhere near accurate in the Thomson one. It's still very good, don't get me wrong. It's one of the features that I really like about the route. But why is it missing from this 37? Right, it is missing from this 37 mainly because Thomson won't allow any payware products to use any of their scripting. It's in their end user license agreement, EULA, and Thomson have always been very keen that nothing that they produce is used for any sort of financial gain. So that basically means that you cannot profit from something they've done. Now, what I'm saying here is that doesn't mean you can't use their stuff. You can, of course you can, but you can't use their stuff even as a requirement in any other product. You can do it as freeware, that's fine. Mr. Thomson, who's also called Alan Thomson, has no issue with that. But when it comes to his products being used where there is financial gain involved, it's a no-no. Some people have got around that. Bossman Games have managed to get around that. But there is a connection there, and let's be honest, Thomson Interactive does a lot with DTG, and a lot of his, if not all of his stuff is released via DTG, and he's sold things to DTG and that sort of thing. And the guy that's in charge of Bossman Games, Ben Jarvis, was quite a key player in Dovetail Games for a long time as well. So they would have had a very clear working relationship prior to Bossman Games even being a thing. I can't quote that as fact. That would just be from what the information I've been given is. So it's not factual. It is just what my understanding of it would be. So you can understand why Bossman Games would have probably had it. I'm sure they came to an agreement, and I'm sure if AP and MKS went to Thomson and said, how much is it going to cost to put this in, he might have come back with a price. But that price would have had to be passed on to us, the end user. And that's why RETEB isn't in. The other thing that's been thrown up, and I think this is actually very, very valid, why is there just not even a dummy version of it? One that's non-functional, but the thing itself is there. Now, Geordie said it's a good idea, but it would have added to the development time, and development time costs money. So therefore, the cost of that would have had to be passed on to the end user. Now, another thing that people have noticed that's missing are the nameplates for the /7s. And again, this again comes down to a cost thing. Nameplates are not quick to make. They are their own 3D models, so therefore they can't be made quickly. so it takes time. And for what they add, it's a lot of time, which again would mean that money would have to be passed on to you guys as the end user. Now, already this pack is one of the most expensive add-ons for Train Sim, locomotive-wise. It isn't the most. The most, from what I'm aware, at the moment, is the Railjet through Just Trains. Actually, even through my site, I sell the Railjet as well. So it's not the most expensive, but of course it is not the cheapest either. Do I still think it's worth it knowing that? Yes, I really, really do. Even just doing these sorts of runs in it, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Not having the retab signalling on this line is a slight meh. And just having the box there, well, it's used on one route, and I can't stress this enough. The functional retab in the simulator is used on one route. It's not used on one route in real life, but I think it is actually being phased out. I can't think where else used it now. West Highland Line, I think there was somewhere in Anglia used it, and I think somewhere in Wales, if I remember rightly. Don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure, but it wasn't common, put it that way. And I was actually speaking to Gary Lennon, who is a driver on the West Highland Line, not probably 6-8 weeks ago about retab, and he was explaining how much the process is actually really wrong on the Thomson stuff. Now that's fine, I don't mind it not being completely accurate. It's not easy to get hold of the information and the data that we need to do that with. This is red, but it's fine, it's because I've edited the scenario. So it's not completely accurate anyway, but it's a nice thing to have in there. It's definitely a nice thing to have in there. And fair play to Thomson for doing it in the first place, because I bet it wasn't easy. The nameplates, like I said, for me it's not the be all and end all, because I couldn't tell you what 37 number did what, why, where or when. As much as I like to know what things have done and what things do, I'm not a numbers guy, as a lot of you already know. So it's not something that massively bothers me. I'm sure that the community will come out with some stuff very, very soon that will improve on that, add them. It won't be long. It won't be long. A lot of people are also complaining about, there's 2 locomotives I think which would be our green. Again, I don't know which ones they are, and they seem to be omitted. I don't know why. I'm not 100% sure. When it comes to other variants of the 37, and this is, if you'd watched my previous video, I was talking about how there was sort of, oh, I'm on a 5 limit there. Sort of questions about why the earlier variants or the brush variants of the 37s weren't included. Now my answer to that is in the title of this pack. It's Volume 1. Now when AP tend to do Volume 1, there tends to be more than one volume planned. Now there's going to be people out there going, oh, that just means more money! Oh! More money! Yeah, it does. It does. Because of the amount of different variation within 37s, it would be very, 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 very hard and extortionately expensive to put that all into one pack and put it out there. So the fact there are different volumes, I've got no issue with whatsoever. As long as the quality is kept up, I'm game. I am game. I think even Mark Walker of Vulcan Productions fame did a review on this the other day as well. And I thought that was really, really brave of him, because Mark Walker's involved in Just Trains and Vulcan Productions, and it's Vulcan Productions and Just Trains who are making the Just Trains 37. So to be able to do a review on that and keep it relatively unbiased, top notch for that. And his words were, it is the best thing he's, I think probably, or the best thing he has driven in Train Simulator in his time of playing Train Sim. I don't disagree with him. I really don't disagree with him. And even now we're slipping ridiculously. Stick a bit of sand down as well and whack a bit of power on. This thing is a challenge to drive properly, and especially on this route, keeping the speeds right, getting the stopping right, stopping it slipping. It's very pretty, especially with a set of white-roofed intercity swallow sleepers, which are from Back to 8 Train Sim, by the way, if anybody's interested in those. I knew I'd seen them somewhere and couldn't think where I'd seen them, and then tracked them down. Why is it the best thing I've driven? It's damn satisfying getting this thing right. Damn satisfying getting this thing right. And to me it sounds spot on. I know there's people going, oh, the reuse sounds for the 37.4. Yeah, but they've been completely reworked. So a sound recording that was made 3 years ago to the same standard as the sound recordings that were made today, I don't really see the issue with that one personally. I was there for the recording session of the 37/4, the newer version, and the sounds that were taken from that recording session up at the Wensleydale were not as good as the ones that were done before. So if you think that took maybe, say that was 3 recording sessions at a unbelievable cost each. So therefore, that time that we went, there was only a few sounds. So over the whole day, I think there was probably only maybe 10%, maybe 20% of the whole day's recordings that actually made it into this pack, from what I can tell. So you can imagine why you'd happily reuse sounds that you already had that were better than the ones you just got and got. So again, one of those things that people complain about that I just don't get, and there's my rationale for why I don't particularly get it. I don't think anybody was complaining about the 37.4 sounds before, were they? So I'm not sure why it's an issue now. Right. Let's just get ourselves going. I'm not going to worry about the stops on this. I just want to see it slip a bit. And I love the fact that we've got snow all, all down on the bogies and the frames and everything like that. I love it. Really does just have such a presence in the game, and for me it is a game changer. If the community is willing to pay for things that are as good as this, we could be really looking at some fantastic new content for Train Sim. My gripe is this. Cab heater switches don't work. I'd have liked to have seen them just switch. Again, didn't need to do anything, but just to switch. But I can also see exactly why they're not. Because just to do that animation would have taken time, and time costs money, and da-da-da-da-da. I wish it didn't need to be like that. I really don't. And when I was just playing the game, I would have said the same thing. It's not about that. It's about us end users, and you're correct. It is about us as end users, but it's about what us end users are willing to pay. And for that, I'm happy paying $24.99. Go on, slip. And even just the detail on the hinge there, the way that the grills on the vents just aren't even. They don't match. They're not even. It's great. They're slightly wonky. It's very cool. And it just feels very at home on this route. And this is a route that I really like, but I just don't drive that often. It is up there with the most scenically beautiful routes in Train Simulator. It's been done to an exceptional standard. So it's in the next section now. And see, I'm not even gonna, it's gonna take me ages to practice exactly how to drive this on this route. But it's just beautiful. Just beautiful. Right. Okay, I'm going to continue driving this. You will see this as a scenario when it's done properly. This was just a prototype. So, once again guys, thanks ever so much for joining me. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Heading over to the Facebook group for some tech support stuff and a few other little bits and pieces of Train Sim. There's some pretty helpful people out there. Heading over to Twitch on a Sunday night from 1900 and Wednesday from 1900 for some more adult, humoured train sim antics. So it's a bit like sitting in the pub and talking about trains more than doing this on YouTube, where it's no sweary and quite polite. Twitch isn't. Also heading over to AlanThompsonSimulation.com. Keep up to date with what's going on in Train Sim and all the latest freeware releases, and also a special announcement, we will be announcing our payware route very, very shortly, so do keep your eyes peeled for that one. Alright then guys, once again, thanks ever so much. Catch you next time.